What's up, y'all? My name is Casperson. The boy don't chase, he attract, and if he can't attract, he detach. In today's video, we've got a fellow author, a storyteller, and a life coach, etc. He's gonna introduce himself, but for now, let me let my guy introduce himself first.
100% right. It's Lucky Chester, of course, the co-host here. A very interesting guest we have here. He's a multiple trick pony, as I would like to say, master of all. How are you feeling today, Mr. Zwide?
He says master of all.
I believe you are.
Good, I'm good, gents. How are you?
Good, man.
Thanks for making time. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Also,
It
thank you
is,
for
it
pulling
is.
up,
Yeah, I had to. One must honor and invite always.
that has been
Yeah.
really too long,
So yeah, this is all of me. What do you guys want to do with me?
We're gonna definitely dive into the mind, like understand your biography and of course the work that you have to offer to your people and audience. Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, he actually wrote INKABI The Hitman's Diary. I didn't get the chance to read it because I haven't bought it yet. I read the preview on Facebook. And it was interesting.
Definitely.
So if you want the book, it will be linked down below. It will be linked.
Yeah.
The Hitman's Diary. For those who might not know you as Thulani Uncle Zwide, how would you describe yourself beyond the words author and life coach?
How would I describe that? That's a bold question. I wouldn't know how to describe myself. I'm just okay. Outside of that or within that. I just want to
you as a person,
I think outside of it.
outside of the
Outside of that,
yeah.
okay. Outside of that, I'm an introvert.
Okay.
I'm an indoor person.
Mm.
I hardly ever talk. So
Interesting.
outside of that, I hardly ever talk. Sometimes I bump into people and they're
Yeah.
like, people are excited to bump into you, and then my energy is like low. But I have to explain that. Look, I'm an introvert actually, so because of the stories that I write, there's an expectation that this guy's actually crazy and whatnot and whatnot. And I'm actually laid back. I'm relaxed. Like I'm just the opposite of what they expect me to be. So that is me in a nutshell. I'm a super introvert. If there is such a thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense because sometimes you have these expectations to be like, this guy posts a lot. He seems like extroverted. Yeah, but then when you actually meet him, you be like, nah.
Find the opposite.
Yeah. Most people that actually write a lot.
Yeah.
It's actually the story. They are introverts because they spend so much time by themselves. So I spend so much time by myself. I literally have a small crowd of people that I break bread with. So if I'm not working, partially sometimes I'm with these people or sometimes I'm with my partner. But then that's the story of my life. I'm never out there doing these things. Sometimes I get invites. Like people invite me to parties and whatnot. And then I just show up for those 2-3 minutes and then I gotta go because I'm not. It takes time for me.
It's like your social battery runs out.
Yeah, it's like my social battery runs out, and then you get to a party, and then they're expecting this guy.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you're crazy, you're poster crazy, and that energy, and then you just flat, and then I'm like, oh, okay, he has moods, but it's not that, I'm an introvert, so yeah, so that is that.
So have you ever had somebody like confront you about it and be like, who's there on and stuff?
It's not happened yet. It's not happened yet. And sometimes, I bump into people, like I literally bump into people. But I think they quickly understand me because I always have to explain it. Even on my social media page, I write it that actually don't be offended when you bump into me in public and then I'm just like, because I'm not an extrovert. I'm so much into myself. I'm so calm. I'm so into myself. I'm so calm.
What would you say to you like?
Yeah.
I mean, judging from how he came here and he was this charismatic person, would you say like you agree with what he's saying? From what you've seen.
Yeah. Well, definitely disagree. It's like you showed me. Definitely, you seem bubbly and you seem like easy to talk to, which you are portraying that way. I like that, right? Yeah.
I'm very easy to talk to. I like making jokes. I think I come prepared because if I know that I'm going to this place and I'm required to speak,
Yeah.
And then I'm in the mode. Then I
Mental
get into
space.
that. I get into that mental space, and then I go, and then that's my focus.
Yeah.
So I get to a place, and then I do that. Like some people even find it funny because sometimes I'll be emceeing a corporate event, and I'll be having the time of my life on stage, right? Because I'm on stage, I'm engaging with the crowd, we're joking, and I also have social events which are related to my books. So people come to these events, and then they're events of storytelling. So I'll be there, and I'll be in front, and I'll be telling stories, engaging with the crowd, laughing, and having a great time.
Yeah.
But once I get off that stage, I switch off.
You're not that person anymore.
Yeah, I'm not that
Get
guy
you.
anymore.
Get
So
you.
I just switch off. So I have to prepare my mind to say, okay, today this is what I'm doing, which expects me to a little bit hyper. So I have to come out, and then I come out, and then I play, and then I switch off. Yeah.
And you like
I would say that's good, and it's a bit of a difference between pretending and delivering what is expected from you, right?
Yeah.
Because some people just pretend for their own benefit, but in your case, it's more of like, okay, I said I'm gonna do this, and I'm expected to do it, and then you're gonna deliver, right?
Yeah, because you are expected to actually do that. So you go, and then you do that, and then you do that to your best of your possibilities, capabilities, and then I switch off later. So it's nature. That's
good.
just how I am.
It sounds like a mental battle, you don't feel. Have you ever found yourself struggling to like switch like into that role that you want to switch into?
And it's funny because I hardly ever struggle with it.
Oh, so
I hardly ever struggle with it. It doesn't. It's not something like I plan in terms of. I wouldn't know how to explain myself, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's a mental problem. I think for the biggest time of my life when I was young, especially when I started working, actually, I used to work for a music publishing. Sorry, man, a music distributing company and packaging companies. So some of the artists, which I won't mention, would come through just to see the behind the scenes of the music industry, because obviously the record company deals with that. So some of them, especially the ones that wanted to go independent, would come. And then you're like, but this guy at the festival, when he's there on stage, he dances and takes off his t-shirt and throws it to the crowd. And here he is, and he's hardly ever engaging with you, you know? He's so laid back, and then you're like, man, this guy is pretending to be, maybe there's something that they're not. And a lot of people used to say that. But because I'm an introvert too, I understand that there's work, and then you can separate yourself from that, you know? So it's a character for most of them. It's a character that you have to play that has to be on stage, and then you come off, and then you just come. Even with a lot of guys, when I used to go and watch theater, like they'll get on stage and then they'll connect with the crowd, and they'll have a great time with the crowd. And then when they get off the stage, they just shut down. So it happens. So you see a guy who's acting probably on Generations, and he's a very forward guy on Generations, and then you bump into him at Maponya Mall, and then he's very calm, and then you're like, this guy is full of himself. He's not. He's out of character during that time.
that's true.
You know, the work side is done. This is him being him now. You know, So it's basically that kind of a vibe, if I would say.
That's nice. That's nice. So you were able to build the skill of detaching from like that persona that you portray.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say build it. It's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say build it. It's like when you're writing a book, for instance. When I was writing this book, you sort of go into character as well, because you are writing this person, and this person is living here. So you're writing these people here, and you're giving them life, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as the book is done, you switch off. You switch off. So yeah, it's what it's separate from who you are at times, but it comes within you. So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, considering the fact that you are an author, storyteller, also a boy child activist, advocate. I forgot to like mention that. And that one is the most that one is the one that I resonate with the most. Considering that you do all of these things, which one feels the most natural to you?
The boy child advocate, I think.
Okay.
I think that one is the. Well, I've been writing ever since I was 7, right?
Yeah.
Because how I got into writing. So I used to go to a primary school in Tembisa, and then I think that's when I did my grade 1. And then out of the blue, my mother just decides that she's taking me out of a school in Nkero And then she took me to this other school. It was on a farm.
Right.
So in a place called Babsfontein. I don't know if it's still there. It was called BZB Primary. So I'm moving from a school where I was comfortable with isiZulu because that's what the language that we spoke every day. Even our English teacher would explain English in isiZulu, you know.
Yeah.
So it's holding you back in some way.
Yeah.
So I'm moving from that school totally. The next year I'm going to a school on a farm. So we get to the school on a farm. The teachers are white, and all the kids that go to that school actually are fluent in English.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now the hitman in me, then Gabi from the class is like, why would she do this to me? I mean, I can't speak to these people. What language are they speaking? You know?
I felt alien.
Yeah, so I made friends with this kid called Diego, very fluent in English, and he's bubbly and he's flowing and he's boring me. I want to punch him.
Oh yeah.
You know, because this is not my space.
You felt like an outcast.
Yeah. So then there's a teacher there. Her name was Miss Shelley. There were two English teachers actually, but one of them was Miss Shelley, the other one was Miss Kotsia. So Miss Shelley then, because realizes that this kid is actually not that brilliant in English.
You?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's me. He realizes that this kid is not actually brilliant when it comes to English, but I'm going to need him to catch up. So she starts giving me extra assignments, and most of them are written, you know?
Oh yeah.
So now you've got to write, and I'm writing a lot. And because I'm trying to catch up with these other kids. So I spend most of my time, even when I'm at home, I'm just writing a lot of English, you know? And I'm writing, and so it becomes a thing. And for some reason, it becomes my culture, because now I'm this kid who's growing up because who's putting everything on pen now. So this is becoming my thing. So here I am growing up. So when I was growing up, there was a culture of 7 o'clock, which I don't think you guys know it. 7 o'clock comes in Insizwa time, like everybody in the township. 7 o'clock is time for it's not Insizwa, it's time for Lisilo.
Oh wait. You know, whether we knew it, I like at 9 because obviously.
Yeah, so that was the culture of the time. Those are the things. But I'm not there. I'm sitting in my I almost said my room. We didn't have a room, bro. We grew up in a 4-room. So I'm sitting in the bedroom. Anyway, I'm writing, you know, and I'm listening to music, and I'm writing, and I'm listening to music, and I'm writing. And it became my culture till today. Like TV is my thing, but not my thing, you know. Like most of the time, if you find me in front of a television, I'm watching soccer. So yeah, then the culture of writing comes in. So I'm starting to enjoy writing. And it became my childhood therapy. Because now I could write it down and then put it away. But then there was also a culture at school which I really, really loved, which really would help us. So it would rather give our parents insight into our lives, because our teachers would allow us to write these books. And then there was a shelf at the corner. So if you've got something that's bothering you, you just write it down and then you put it in the shelf. So the teacher would open it later and then they would learn. That's how our teachers started to understand us beyond school, because we came from very different homes. Some came from homes when there was too much, and then some came from homes when there was just sufficient. Some came from homes where really life was trying, you know. But obviously, if we are in the same space, then we are existing together, but we're not going to exist equally.
Of course.
Hence, I always say this is where the boy child comes in now, because the playground is one of the most crucial places that any child can actually go to. And if any child survives the playground, then they are good for life. Because at the playground, that's where you learn the differences. Because kids don't have filters, they don't know. So a kid shows up, my dad bought me a phone. What did your dad buy you? That's where you realize, I actually don't have a dad. There's somebody called a dad who's supposed to exist. So when you go home, you start questioning your mother. And then how your mother actually deals with that will determine your thoughts in relation to that going forward. So that's the crucial part about the playground. So that's why the boy child comes in now, to say, if these things are not dealt with as young as possible, then they go on to actually become a person's personality. You know, what you don't solve at the age of 7 will actually show up at the age of 17. Yeah. So that is basically it.
And usually when it shows up, it's like, because nobody was there to teach you how to be a man. You try to be a man by being violent, or you just attack people. You take what's not even yours on freedom.
Because there's a huge anger. Most adults today are very angry at life. They are very angry at life. Like you can literally step on somebody's shoe by mistake at a mall, and they can just blow it out of proportion.
Yeah.
And you might think that it's actually you stepping on the toe, but it's actually the anger that they've been carrying for years. And but if you don't solve it as they are young, because that's when you need to solve it. If you don't teach children how to deal with things when they are young, they become adults and then they choose a way in which they're going to deal with it.
Sure.
It's important for them to actually learn at a young age. How do you deal with things? How do you cope with things? I go to gym, right? When I started gym, I was just going because I needed to lose the whole fat that I had. Now, I'm not sure when it comes to mental health because I've seen crazy people in the gym.
Interesting.
They say gym is good for mental health, you know, and okay, maybe it is. Possibly is. But I've seen crazy people. I've seen people get into a fist fight just because of weight.
Really?
Yeah. Like somebody uses weights and then somebody comes in, they want the same set of weights. And then they start arguing about that. Yeah, but you've been doing so many sets and what. Yeah, I'm doing my sets. And you're like, but this place is supposed to be great for mental health.
Okay. And it's a public space.
Yeah. So, but the one thing that has been good for me in the gym is build confidence. It's a great confidence booster. 2, you learn how to strength training. So you learn how to actually carry things that are way heavier, and then you learn that with time, the more you do it, the more lighter it becomes. You know, because the body builds resistance for that type of weight. So it becomes lighter with time. So those are the things that you learn. Also, consistency is very important. So it's one of the things that you learn in the gym. And once you, for instance, for the first 2 months, I was like, you know what?
I'm not seeing progress.
I'm not doing this, man. It's boring me. But then one day I wake up, I wear a shirt, and then it sits differently from how it used to sit before. I'm like, okay, we're onto something. We're onto something.
It's not much, but I like what I see.
Yeah, it's not much, but I like what I see. And then because you've spent so much time doing this, you get to a point where your body actually tells you. Because I'm in the gym at 5 a.m., right? I'm up by 4:30. But I'm always up before my alarm rings. Because the body knows. The body knows that on Monday to Thursday I'm in the gym. So I wake up before my alarm goes off because the body knows that we have to be in that gym by that time.
Like now you have that built-in discipline inside of you.
Yeah, so now you have that built-in discipline inside of you. Whether or not I want to go, the body says we are going there. So it gives you no choice. Even if I wake up and I skip gym today, the whole day my body will remind me, there's something we didn't do today. There's something we didn't do today. There's something we didn't do today.
And that lingering thought, it just stings because you know you should have done that.
You know you should have done that. So yeah.
I like that. I actually want to go back to the part where you said there are crazy people at the gym. Yes, people do fight. I don't think the gym is good for like all mental health. Don't feel like. Yeah, for me, it was helpful because growing up, very like you said, sometimes there's no dad. And then when you grow up, you start to realize that hey, maybe my dad was not the problem. Maybe my mom was. I'm not saying my mom was. I'm just saying you start to see life from a different POV. So for me, I started like lifting weights, and that helped me. But for other people, like I would say that they're just hoping the gym helps them instead of them just saying, "Hey, the gym is just an anchor. I have to help myself." Like a therapist, they're just gonna give you the tools. You're not gonna get actual help from them. So what do you think about that, though?
The gym is a good stress reliever. That much I can say. The gym is a good stress reliever, and it can solve problems up to a certain point. You know, it cannot erase all the problems. It can solve problems up to a certain point, and it teaches you. One of the things that you learn, for instance, from gym, you learn that you can actually go somewhere and blow off some steam. You know, instead of getting into a physical fight with somebody. Instead of so you've got a place now to run to. You know, you get into an argument with your wife or whatever, whoever, and then you're like, you know what? You grab your gym bag, you just go, you punch that thing, the whole of the 4 minutes of.
Wait, speaking of that, yeah, can I quickly just interject?
Yeah.
Speaking of like wife, I love that you said wife. What do you think? Like, my guy and I was like, we were having this conversation the other day, and I said to him, guys who don't go to the gym are more abusive than guys who do go to the gym. Because guys who go to the gym, think about it, you have your bag there, and then you have this mental discipline or you have this knowledge that you know you are strong, so you don't have to prove it by punching your wife at home. But who would you say is more abusive? Like, let's just get that out.
General question.
Yeah, this one has nothing to do with the podcast. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Well, I don't know of any domestic situations. Not that they aren't. But I don't know any domestic situations that actually include a lot of people who go to gym. You know. Not to say that they aren't. They are. They are. I mean, Mike Tyson used to do crazy things in his housewife when he was married. So I don't know, man.
You can't.
Somebody must do the stats. Somebody must sit down and do the stats.
True.
I'm trying to think because I see a lot of men in the gym on a daily basis. Like we come in, there's a lot of us. But I don't know what happens when they leave. That's the thing. Because I don't know what happens in their private lives when they leave, you know? But if maybe they came with their wives to gym, then I would
know what's up.
I'd know what's up. I'd know, you know? Because you could see, oh, she has a blue eye. This guy, oh, she's fine. Yeah, you could see. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think there is an exception, of course, right? But I think also the key takeaway here, I think it all starts at the household. When you mentioned that you'd see guys fighting for a place to work out, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say people should learn how to, of course, reason and learn how to de-escalate the situation before it gets out of hand. Because if you have a community that's like that, then our society is gonna be wrecked. That means now people can't make friends or have any interaction without thinking that maybe this guy might be a psycho or
Yeah, but which is true. And you solve it when they are young. Can't solve it when they are older. It's a bit of a challenge. You solve it when they are young.
True.
Because if a child walks in now and they start crying for this book, and you give them this book, they grow up with that attitude, right? That whatever that you want in life, you cry for it, and then somebody must give it to you.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a problem when they're in a situation when they're crying for something and somebody doesn't give it to them. You know? So if the child grabs this book and starts running, and I leave them, then they grow up with that thing.
Yeah.
So that's what happens in the gym, because you using weights and I come and I take them. It's a logic that exists in my mind to say, yeah, but if I need something, I must take it without consideration for the next person. So that's what a lot of kids are taught. I mean, that's what a lot of kids grow up with. So you need to stop it. This culture, they grow up with that thing. They grow up with that thing. They become adults. They cry for everything. They cry for everything.
Yeah.
In the gym, they fight for weights with other people. In real life, they fight for a man's money,
Essentially.
Yeah, so essentially. That's what happens.
That's true, man. That is true, because we grow up with these things that we are taught. That's why sometimes you find these kids, like we go in the hood, we call them rich kids. These kids who have this
privilege.
Yeah, privilege to some degree, one feel. The kids who always have something to eat for lunch or whatever. So those kids, they never fight for the dumbest things. Like now that you've grown up, you understand that fighting to be fed at the feeding scheme at school, it wasn't something that we should have been doing, because we were all gonna get food. There was enough food.
But there was a fight for that.
Yeah, there was a fight. You'd be like, no, I got here first, and then everybody's just pushing it. But then these kids, because they had these things growing up on top, even though you would find, we have a friend who was kind of privileged, he felt, and he just stand on the side, Ronald Mola in your own feet. Then he just look at us and be like, why are you fighting? You're gonna get food. But at the time we didn't play, because you're like, What if when I get home there's no food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We grow up with these things. Even now, you be like, I gotta go to McD. Impulsive buying. I think that's what like
Yeah.
Things like is conditioning of either society or household, but essentially environment kind of like plays a role to condition your mental model.
Yeah. The environment actually plays a lot into that, because what you're saying, it's survival mode, right? And then you grow up with that thing that I should have before everybody has. You know? And it becomes a problem, because that becomes your mentality. You know? Take you back to primary school. When I get to this new primary school where I have to now speak English. So there's a group of us. We had kids that came from homes where they always had. And then we had kids that came from homes where sometimes we had, sometimes we didn't. So I was one of those. Sometimes the lunchbox was accompanied by 2 rand, you know. 2 rand was a lot of money in my time. So sometimes it was a lot. You could buy a sandwich. There's a lot of, you could buy a sandwich and a juice at the tuck shop actually. So you've got a lunchbox and 2 rand, and then obviously there's this kid that comes from a home where they have everything. And then we also had a friend who came from a home where there wasn't. You know, in those homes, I think our parents wanted better for us, that as soon as these private schools opened, they were like, yeah, my child is going to a school where there's white people, you know, because they wanted us to see a life that was far better than the one that we were already experiencing in the home. So even though they had little or to nothing, it's fine. They'd rather pay that expensive school fees so that you can be in that environment and see better, than for you to be stuck in this very same environment where the reputation is the same, you know?
True.
So there we are. This kid hardly ever has food. But now, there was something that he did that we didn't like, you know? Because during lunchtime, we'd all put our lunch boxes down and everybody eats. Whether you have, whether you don't have. And it's like somebody groomed us and nobody taught us that. It naturally just happened. And now that I think of it in my adult year, I'm like, where did we get that? Because that was brotherhood. You know? We sat down, we'd eat, and then we'd go and play soccer or whatever. We'd sit down. So we'd put our lunch boxes, he would come, everybody eats. I didn't even have stress. Even when I did not have sufficient at home, I knew I'm going to eat during lunch. This is the culture, you know? This is the culture, sharp. So this is what he used to do. On days when he had money, on days when he had a good lunchbox, he'd go hang with the kids that had better. You know what I mean? So he goes and he hangs with these kids that he had better and whatnot, and they would feed him. He would eat there with them. And then when he's broke, he comes to us. And here's another challenge. Because he was trying to fit in there, they always remind him that he doesn't fit in. Because when he's broke, they didn't want him there. But he would come here and eat. So that's what survival does. You know? You cannot take it to your head that, look, man, about 15 days a week, I eat with these people. On the 5 days that I have something, I act, sorry to put it, but it's dog tendencies. You know? I act like a dog, you know, it's dog tendencies. So I'm going to disappear, I'm going to find a corner, and then I'm going to go, and then I'm going to use these ones, you know? And actually, one of the kids, there was a kid called Hames. His name was Hames, part of our scheme. He's actually the one that kicked him out. I said, no, that's not how we do things here. When you have something to eat, you go to hang with those guys here. And then when you don't have, they make a joke of you. You know, and then and then you come to us, and then we give you the food. So therefore, we don't want to see you here anymore. You know. So maybe I could have advocated for him, but I was also pissed at that time.
It is, man. And it's crazy because I think every single one of us knows a guy like that, or has once become like being the guy. True. Yeah, it's like it's actually insane because I'm thinking of somebody on Twitter.
It happens, and the kids and it was funny because Hames and the other one Temba, they came from homes when there was so much, like literally there was so much. But they were able to share, and the same thing that you were saying with rich kids at school, that look, we're all gonna eat at this feeding scale.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what they always had, you know.
Yeah.
You put food down and then they'll eat. You'll find them with a great sandwich that has cheese, ham, lettuce and whatnot. And then you put your peanut butter and jam sandwich. And it's like, oh my god, I wanna eat peanut butter and jam.
Yeah.
It's you know?
And you act surprised, like, because you have this. Why is
Bro, like why is this interesting to you?
Yeah.
You know, because you have this. But yeah. So that's the problem of survival mode. Once you're in survival mode, the decisions that you make
based on it.
are based on
to
it.
survive.
And I like that this topic revolves around what you always post about, like get out of the hood as soon as you can.
Look, man,
Yeah.
you, and I'll say this until I die probably.
Yeah.
You're not wrong for wanting or thinking out the box from where you come from.
Yeah.
The culture of the hood is very poor. The culture of the hood is very poor. Look, man, I don't know about this place, right? But where I come from, the one thing that you can never run out of is a place to find alcohol.
Yeah.
The one place you can never run out of a place to
Yeah.
find alcohol is a culture.
Yeah.
Now, the gents have a chain of baby mamas. The gentlemen have a chain of baby daddies. So if you drive a nice car, and you've got a back room which is nice and pimped out, you are the main attraction to women. That's all they want. So that is the culture. Monday to Friday, everybody goes to work. Friday to Sunday, everybody is drinking. Yeah. So that is the culture. You know, that is the culture. Nobody's thinking out of the box. Nobody's thinking that, hey, actually this house was given to my grandmother by the apartheid government. And my mother was raised here. And now I'm growing up here. And now I'm raising kids here. And my kids are going to raise their kids here.
Yeah, it's
Because that is one of the walls. When you drive around the neighborhood that I come from, you'll see a lot of signs. This house is not for sale. This house is not for sale. You know, they've been painted. I don't know who did the painting. Horribly painted. This house is not for sale. Because now there's a culture, everybody's trying to fight for this family house. Well, the children are saying, this is my mother's house. The grandchildren are saying, this is my grandmother's house, you know? And the younger ones are coming, this is my great-grandmother's house, you know? Nobody's trying to think far beyond this situation.
Let me escape.
Let me escape. Exactly, let me escape. And that is one of the things that going to a school outside the hood did for me, right? Because I'm the only one of my first group of childhood friends that never went to prison.
interesting.
I'm the only one. And I bump into them now in my adult life, and we're cool with boys, like we talk, we
that
jam.
bond is still there.
Yeah, the bond is still there. Are you good, Mfana? I'm great, Mfana, and whatnot. And we discuss life. Yeah, Mfana, you know what? And they even tell me, Mfana, when your mother saved you by taking you out of the school in the ghetto. Now, I'm not saying that every parent must take their children to where they can afford. But you go to a school and the culture changes. Because when I used to go to a school with these guys, there was a culture. First of all, nobody's father is around. Let's start there. Nobody's father is around. Our mothers are busy working. But in as much as they are busy working, there's a force of negligence that is actually going into us. Because here you are, you're growing up and people come to your mother's house and they say, hey, Thulani did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And your mother actually attacks those people. So that's negligence, you know? And if they go to my mother and they tell her, no, Thulani did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then my mother then will question me. What did you do? Okay, go choose a weapon and then come back and see me.
You're gonna get
you know, and then you're gonna get whooped. So now I'm getting punished. And these other kids that I'm with, that I'm delinquent with, because we are all delinquents at that time. So I'm not the special one. I'm also doing the things that I'm doing. But the difference is I get a punishment. So next time when they say, go do this, let's go and do this.
Consequence.
Because when you know they're not getting punished.
Yeah, because when they're not getting, their parents are fighting the people, you know? Their parents are fighting the people that come and go. Your child broke my window. Hey, how do you know it's my child? It wasn't my child alone. No. So that's what they were subjected to. Whereas I know if I go home, if an adult actually punishes me in the street, I'm not saying that when I get home.
Because
that's going to be double punishment. You know? So you're growing up and then you're starting to see this. I'm like, okay, cool. Because now there are kids from the same neighborhood that you actually go to school with. And then they have TV games, you know, and they have these nice things, you know. And then when you come back from school, you're like, okay, I'm going to come back, I'm going to change. I'm going to go to Kagiso's house and play TV game. So the idea is now changing because if I go to those ones, we're gonna go and cause problems.
Yeah.
So the idea, the mindset starts changing now to say,
Yeah.
now I have to actually think better. And that actually saves you, right?
Mm.
Because going out on a hood, for instance, the first time I was in a house in the suburbs, and this was before my uncle actually bought a house in the suburbs when we were young, because he actually eventually bought a house in the suburbs. But the first time I was in a house in the suburbs, it was Hames's house, right?
Yeah.
So, this guy is having a party over the weekend and he's been asked to invite his friends from school. So I get an invite. Okay, cool. Sharp. I get an invite, give it to my mother. So his father calls my mother to confirm that they can actually come and pick me up. So there was a suburb outside Tebisa, which was at the time predominantly white. You know, like proper white neighborhood.
When you say like
No, during those times it was a proper white neighborhood. You know, only a few black people existed. Guys, we've come a long way. You guys are gone now, you don't know. So you go to this place. So I'm going to Beshley North now. And his father actually drives to come and pick me up on a Friday at home because his mother is agreed, because my mother had agreed for that. So he comes. He used to drive a Toyota twin cab. And during that time, it was the car of the time. Like if you drove a Toyota,
it's like a GTI.
Yeah, it's like a GTI. It's a nice vintage car now. You know, I want to buy it, but I want to buy it and fix it up. It will be my car to, you know,
just
just to play around with. But so he comes, he's driving this beautiful car, and he comes to pick me up, and then we drive to the suburbs. So basically, he goes and picks up other kids that are coming to. And then you drive to a McDonald's to have dinner, and then we get to his house. It's late at night. Go to sleep. Wake up, and mind you, we are going to sleep because I'm growing up in the hood where I don't have my own bedroom.
Oh,
and you get to this place, and you have a bed. You're
like, wow, that's
okay, this is nice.
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, this is the first time that I'm admiring the house. Oh, it's beautiful. Wow. You go outside, it's got a pool. It's got a tennis court, you know? Yeah, so I'm like, wait, other black people are living like this.
Like, why not me?
Yeah. So the father had a profession, he was a doctor, you know, the mother too. So they were having this great life. And then the party comes, it's during the day, and then other black kids come, white kids come, there's Indians, it's just a nice party. There's just enough for everybody. We're just having a great time as kids. So Sunday comes and then you must go back there. Must go back there to the home. But now the mind has grown because you've seen that
it's possible.
There's a life out there.
Yeah.
Which is way better than what I'm seeing here on every weekend. You know, there's a life out there which is better than what I'm seeing here. And I want that life, you know. So everything that I've done in my life has been purposefully. You know? I don't have kids, not because I'm infantile. It's a choice that I made to say, you can't bring kids into a world where you have not actually acquired what is required for them to have actually a better life than
God. Agree with you.
Yeah, they can't. I don't believe in the idea of our kids inheriting our problems. You know, it used to. I used to have this uncle who would say, "Yeah, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna find out how hard it is to work. You know, you're gonna find out." I don't believe in passing on there. Let's pass on something different. Say, son, you're gonna grow up. There's gonna be 250,000 rand that is waiting for you when you grow up. So when you turn 18, tell me, do you wanna go to school? Do you wanna start a business? Oh, you wanna start a business?
Yeah.
In what sense? Oh, that industry. Oh, okay, cool. Let me talk to somebody I know. You'll go there and work for free for a year to get an understanding as to how that industry works. And then after you work, then okay, here's your money. Let's see if you can start a business. You know? We need to change this thing. It needs to be different. We can't be inheriting our parents' problems and repeating them. That's not what we exist for. And that's what we keep doing, man. Every time somebody passes on, everybody it's always the same question. They're kind of society. So we're not your man, you know. We can't.
We can't.
So at some point, somebody has to do better.
Yeah.
At some point, something has to improve. You know.
Break the cycle.
Somebody must break the cycle. Somebody must make it out of the hood, even if you are in the hood. But the mind must always make it out.
Yeah.
The mind must always make it out. Because if the mind is stuck in the hood, I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
The culture of the hood is not going anywhere.
Definitely.
It's actually getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
It's a repeat of the same things over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
And it's one of the things that is holding us back as a people.
Mm.
Because there are things that you can discuss. Like, for instance, now, if you can go out here in the streets and ask about the Matlanga Commission, only a few people are interested in that. If you ask a couple of people, are you paying attention to the rand manipulation case? It's a court. There's a case about the rand manipulation, which is a court. Only a few people. If you ask, what is rand manipulation? Spali buying to spali.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you see, a lot of people are talking about this girl that just got shot.
Yeah.
You see, like, people are following this, and they are pushing this narrative. Yeah, this girl was just they're not actually diving deep into the actual reason, because there was also a guy who got shot. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of negativity that we, as a people, we are chasing onto. We are ignoring all the facts. So when they do this, right? Because rent is supposed to be $1 is supposed to be 7 rand.
Or half I've heard of that.
But a lot of people are not there.
There's this talk of the culture. Right, it's for the culture,
Yeah, they think it's for the politics.
And you look at it and you're like, okay, what is for the culture? You know? What is for the culture? I was talking to one of my nephews the other day.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with this musician, and I can't mention him.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just call him Skorokoro. So he's obsessed with Skorokoro. Skorokoro does it for the culture, you know. Skorokoro is great for the culture. And I'm like, because I look at this Skorokoro guy and I'm trying to figure out what culture, you know. And so I asked the boy, what culture? The culture, bruh. I'm like, what culture? Like, bruh, he's doing it for the culture, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me explain something, and maybe you'll be able to explain it to me when I'm done. I said, do you know a guy called Shuma Sigel? He said, yeah, I know. That one used to sing jazz. Yeah, that old guy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you know that he was exiled? He's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I heard he was exiled and whatnot and whatnot. I said, do you know why he was exiled? He's like, yeah, I think it was apartheid. I'm like, no. Okay, let's break it down. You want to talk about culture?
Yeah.
Let me tell you a thing about culture. Hugh Masekela was exiled because his music was actually inciting the apartheid government. His music was a problem. His tongue was a problem. His writing was a problem. The fact that he was actually telling the stories and the realities of what was happening in the country was a problem. Because to the apartheid government, he was actually an activist. So you ban somebody like that. If you listen to the song Stimela, it talks about miners who came from different countries were carried in a train to come and work here, right? And they were put in places where they had to live, in the mines, where places that were not good for any human beings to actually exist in. And the food that they eat, it's not that great. Now these people, their land was taken forcefully, their cattle was taken forcefully, and they were bullied into living a life which is actually secondary to the one that they actually established for themselves. The life that actually afforded them, the peace, the greatness that they had. So now these people have been taken from this place where they didn't have to work because they had the cattle, they had the land, they had the food. And these people have been taken, forcefully removed, and these things have been taken by the apartheid government. And these people have been told to go and work in the mines. So the song is a problem. And even if you listen to that song even till today, that's what happened in Marikana. Because they were fighting against the very same culture that Hugh Masekela was talking about. So 20, 30, 40, 70 years from now, that song will still be relevant. So Hugh Masekela was banned because of a culture that he was standing against and the culture that he was standing for. He didn't even bury some of his family members because he was not allowed to come into the country. My uncle used to tell me that they used to drive all the way to Lesotho because that's where he would land, and they would go and watch his shows in Lesotho, and then he would go back. So, if you want to talk about Hugh Masekela as a culture, as a musician, you could say that he was an activist.
Yeah.
And he was an activist talking about the things that were happening at the time that needed to improve. So that is the culture. So if you're saying that DJ Skorokoro is doing it for the culture, what culture is it? Because so much is still neglected.
Yeah.
There is so much that is still neglected. The youth of 1976 took to the streets to fight for freedom.
Yeah.
They achieved it. Not to say it was beneficial in the way that it was supposed to be, but they achieved it. So the youth of of the 90s, the youth of the 80s, they also had wars to pick, but they didn't. And because of those wars, AMA 2000 are falling into those traps. Because if we were vigilant to actually concentrate on the things that needed to be solved, if we had music that was actually in the form of activism, then we'd know. If somebody was singing and talking about rent manipulation, we'd probably know. Everybody would probably be aware that there's such a thing. If somebody was talking about all the things that Ntankam Kwanazi came up with and said, but nobody is talking about those things, you know? So it's not activism because everybody's just sitting back. So you look at the music and you look and you say it's for the culture, but what are they trying to influence? What are they trying to tell you? Because if you say it's for the culture, you cannot tell me that it's for the culture because this guy is trying to influence that every weekend you go to a tavern.
Yeah.
What culture is that?
How many jobs you can get? Or
What culture is that? So
degeneracy.
Yeah, so we need to look. We don't look at these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that your musicians mustn't make their crazy song, you know. Hey, imotenga na petrola istati. Why would you?
But
it's fine.
No logic behind it.
No logic behind it.
Yeah.
No, there's so much that is happening that has no logic.
That's true.
And the music that actually makes sense is being sidelined. You know? But that's the thing. The problem is you cannot have people think. Because if people think, they start to see the flaws.
Yeah.
You know? That is why it was important, and I'm sorry to say this, that is why it's important to listen to Yvonne Chaka Chaka. They'd rather play you that so that you can focus on them Mkomboti than play you Juma Sigela because it's trying to tell you something. If they play you Prakefas Semenya, it's a problem because Prakefas is trying to tell you something. If they play you Mamle Tambul, it's a problem because Mamle Tambul is trying to tell you something. She has a song called Noche Huru, right? Which was released in 1994. You listen to that song today, it's still relevant. It's super relevant.
Because
nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. She says Umhlaba wagi to Seminda in that song. Which is still the same thing. Nothing has changed. We are still at the same place. And we are now finding out that no, actually, some people are having the time of their life in this country. Your Ket Matlalas were having the time of their life. These are the things that have set us back. And everybody that has actually tried to speak against your Ket Matlalas and them has actually been shot. And they die for this thing. You know? So these are the things that if you say it's for the culture, then what are you talking about? What is it for the culture?
Yeah.
What are you trying to influence? Are you trying to influence society to think, or are you trying to keep the society not thinking? Because the majority are not thinking.
True.
The majority are not thinking. It's the same conversation every week. Every week is the same conversation. It's bad. I want to shy you this bad. You can't because we're not thinking.
True.
Our biggest challenge right now is that we're not thinking. We're not.
Yeah, thinking outside of the box, or they just want to keep you trapped in. That's our environment.
Yeah. So you use the media. The media is a great tool to actually use that.
I want to have a great example of what you're talking about, Tumangane, Andrew Tate.
I'm thinking of it, man.
Yeah. I can say there used to be a time I thought, okay, I'm sad, I'm depressed. I used to listen to these artists before Triple X.
Yeah.
And these overwhelming thoughts, that suicide, they just come to you. You know you shouldn't do that. You know you shouldn't think of that.
Yeah.
At the time, I wasn't even supposed to be aware of that.
Yeah.
But I was listening to that music. I was like, okay, maybe life is not worth living. I never actually acted on it, but those thoughts came, and I know I wasn't the only one because when you would go to like your Facebook, you would see somebody saying, life is not worth it. One day is on Kumbula and stuff. You feel? And then Andrew Tate said, I still like remember him saying that it's not. He said get a six-pack first. If you want to like take your life, get a six-pack first, and then if you still want to do it, you can. Then I realized that depression or like these things that they are pushing onto us, like they actually come from inactivity. Because when I started really like trying to get that six-pack, I was like, I look good. Not in an arrogant way.
Yeah, of course.
You start to appreciate
So
yourself.
conscious
Like,
now.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And then like, if I can do that, something that a lot of people are not willing to do. You feel like you came here and you spoke about losing weight.
Yeah.
Comfort.
Yeah.
And I love that because I was like, And not a lot of people are willing to do that. It's not that other people who are big, they don't like see these problems, you feel.
Yeah.
They see them, but they're like, okay, it's too much work.
Overwhelmed by it, yeah. True.
So when you like dive into this thing deeply, you be like, okay, they tried to silence and trade. They made us only see who he's a woman hater. That's what they wanted us to see.
Yeah.
But if you actually go like watch the full podcast and stuff, you realize, oh, that's not what he said. The clip that I just saw is not what he said. It was just fabricated. Yeah, one talk. So how they Umathamini and stuff. That song, I know it, girl.
Yeah.
I bet, like, I have a niece who's 5 years.
Yeah.
He knows that song. So that says a lot, though. Like, this thing, it's by design. They're trying to force this onto us.
It's the culture. You need the best society to govern over is one that cannot think.
Yeah,
They cannot think. They cannot hold you accountable. So you get to do whatever that you want. And that is what the ANC government has been doing all these years. That's what they've been doing. Because we don't hold anybody accountable.
True.
You know, in other African countries, you learn that if they say this is wrong, the country goes to a standstill. This is wrong, and everybody, and then they go to war, and then they fight, and then they whatnot. But the ANC government is one that we have not been able to say, hey, why? Because they have us exactly where they want us.
Yeah.
The music is useless most of the time. When you come across good music, actually it has low listening or rather very low listeners on all these platforms. You know, when you turn to good music, the people that are trying to talk to you, it's very low. Very low.
The engagement.
You know, the engagements. They don't even want to push that music onto platforms. Because you don't need a society that can think. I mean, I haven't watched television I haven't watched the soap in like 10 years or so.
Yeah.
But even if you ask me about now some of the soaps that people watch, I can tell you it's nonsense.
Definitely. The generation, promiscuity.
That's what you're saying. And then they come up with these shows, but again, all these shows, all these women shows, what do they call it?
Fatal seduction and stuff.
Yeah,
Housewives
and all of that. And that's not reality. That's actually scripted. But there's somebody sitting there thinking that's reality.
And they deserve
that. So they start to put social pressures on everybody around them, you know. I'm not gonna date a guy who doesn't have a Benz.
I know my wife.
She doesn't have money to take a taxi to go to work. You know. So the standards are pressed on other people for actually the life that they want to live. Now it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
You know, all this thing, it's made by design. You need the best society you can govern over is one that cannot think.
Yeah.
Because nobody questions.
True.
Nobody questions. Yeah. And you need to know who you need to capture.
Yeah.
You know, in the book, The Art of War, Sun Tzu talks about capturing the general. Now, if there's 10 people here that are fighting for food, and I have the food, and those 10 people assign one person, they say, you, Carl, are going to go and speak to us. And you come to me and you want to speak on behalf of all these people. And I say to you, listen, Carl, got all the meat that you need here. I'll give you chicken. I'll give you mutton. Take this cabbage and go give those people.
Yeah.
And then you and I will share from the same plate. So because I cannot go and tell those people that, hey, I want to offer you cabbage.
Yeah.
But if you agree and you start eating at my table and you go with cabbage to those people, they will accept it. Because once you sit down and say, no, I negotiated, there were long negotiations there, and therefore I came with cabbage. But with time we're gonna get the meat. They believe you because they selected you as their leader. So I have captured you, and you have captured them. So the day they throw the cabbage at you and you come to me, I tell you, hey, Baba, hey, I gave you chicken, didn't I?
Yeah.
Go and make sure that
now you don't understand.
Go and make sure that these people enjoy the cabbage. You know. So that is where we are. That is what they created these leaders and they put them in position by design. When you watch the Madlanga Commission and you watch the parliamentary inquiry, you're like, how did these people make it so far up? How? Because the more they speak, you're like, para, amara,
Ganja.
I was like,
they can't.
What am I looking at?
Yeah, but by design, you have to put them in positions which matter so that you can control them, so that they can control the masses.
True.
That's it. You eat with them, They take the remains that you give them to go and give to the masses, and they take them and they can convince the masses. You know, that's by design. So that's what Sun Tzu says in that book. You don't have to kill people to capture them. Just capture the general that they trust. And once you've captured the general that they trust, anything that you say, they must go and give those people. Those people will accept.
That's true.
That's it.
True.
So that's the system that we are in now. That's the system that we are in now. You know?
You know when you read books, and I actually listen to educational music, and there's Tom McDonald, most hated rapper in the world, by the way. He said, "Don't kill your foes, just calm their gods, and then you control all your enemies."
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're talking about.
It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
And the people hate him for that. You see, it's that thing, Ari. When you're trying to show people, make them think very long term, people are gonna hate you. But we love Cardi B. We love that. Okay. She's
and you can't say that is actually not music. You can't. They'll kill you. You can't say that is actually not music.
Yeah, as it was intended.
Yeah, it's because there's less music in these days, and there's more. I don't even know what they call it, but there's less music in these days, and then there's this thing that you call music, this thing, and you say no, it's a culture, and this is the culture that we are portraying now and whatnot. But you listen to the music and it's not inspiring, it's not building. In fact, it's dragging people down. You listen to guys like Tupac.
Yeah.
He was a storyteller.
Definitely.
He was a definite storyteller. He was poetic about it. He was smart. Very educated man. Sorry. Very educated person. But he was smart, you know? He was telling stories. You listen to this guy right now. One of the most underrated rappers that exists right now, that I love so much. Scarface. He's a storyteller. He's telling great stories. And a lot of people actually don't understand his music, or rather, are not listening to it. But he's telling great stories. So that has all gone now. Now somebody can just go into a studio and say, the light, switch off the light, turn off the light, the light, and it's a song.
It's a hit song.
Yeah, and it's a hit song. You're like, oh, okay. Maybe they're trying to teach us about DC and AC. You know? And it's a hit song. And, But what is it? What is it contributing to? What is it changing? What is it influencing? That is the thing. What is it influencing? It's fine. We understand that it's music, but what is it influencing? You know?
That's true.
Yeah. What is it influencing? Because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you look around right now. There is no one in the space with all the things that are happening in this country. There's no one in the space of music or acting or whatnot who is actually shocked at anything that is going on.
Yeah, it's like they're just going with the flow.
Yeah, I know we go with the flow. The very same people that come, that complain, and then it's election time, you see them wearing ANC t-shirts. And I came at that. Well, they're not complaining and saying that the ANC, the CBC doesn't play their music.
Yeah.
So now they're wearing ANC t-shirts and they're at the rallies.
Yeah.
And what's going on? Because they don't understand what they're doing as well.
Because
they don't understand what they're doing as well. You cannot complain and fight against something and then go support it. So which means that you don't have values, you don't have principles. You can be bought.
True.
So they come to you and say, hey man, here's 100,000 man, let's go to Ellis Park Stadium, come.
Yeah.
And then you're there in the ANC t-shirt, 100,000 in your pocket, 2 months later you're broke.
That's true.
So where are your principles, where are your values?
Yeah, what do you stand for?
Yeah, what do you stand for? You know? You need to be clear. It's either you stand for something or you are just like
you fall for everything.
You stand for something or fall for everything. So they don't stand for anything. Even the government knows. 100,000.
Yeah, sheep basically.
Yeah, it's the culture. You go to. I was talking to this young man when I was in Tembisa the other day. I was talking to this young man. Now these young men during elections, they were going door to door. Campaigning, talking about the jobs that are coming, talking about the improvements that are coming, how electricity is going to be cheap or whatever. Now, the very same people that were selling jobs to the community are unemployed. I asked them, I said, you gave a campaign, but you're unemployed.
That's all.
How does it make you feel?
Yeah, maybe it makes sense.
No, everything is gonna come together. Pramashaba says he's working on something. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, and he's promising because shit. Now and again he comes and he buys us whiskey and some beers, you know. So it's gonna come together. Yeah, but I'm like, oh, okay. So how far is he? Nah, he says we mustn't call him because he doesn't want us to put pressure on him, but he's working on something. Because they've sold you this idea that they're gonna give you a job, but you knew going into that there's no jobs that are coming. And here you are right now, you're sitting in the hood, and they know that you'll accept the culture of the fact that they'll bring you alcohol and say, no, drink. And then you see them as a god now. No, drink. And then you see them as a god now. So it's the very same thing that happens actually in terms of art as well. That people are actually happy when you give them something.
Yeah.
But they have a problem against you. So they are not saying, no, take that 100,000 and throw it in the air. We want our rotation on radio so that we can make money from royalties. They don't do that. Now to get radio play, you must do a lot of things that are illegal. That have been, you must pay payola now and do all of those things that are illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the things that I used to see when I used to work in the music industry. That you hear people, hey, they paid such and such radio station 100,000. The song is going to be on high rotation for 3 months and whatnot. After 3 months, the radio station drops the rotation. That is not productive. You know, it's holding you. If Radio 2000 says we play more local music than the law allows, who's the law?
Yeah.
Why does the law not allow for more local music to be played in radio? Why is it? Because now you are oppressing these people.
True.
These people that are supposed to be set free. If these people are artists, they should be able to eat from what they make. But they can't eat because the law is against them eating.
Yeah.
And this is the law that exists in their own country. But it's not against Cardi B eating. It's not against Beyonce eating. It's not against Drake eating. Because those are the people that will get the highest rotation.
Yeah.
You know? And what they don't tell you is that actually with this major, with the SAPC at large, the major recording companies are the ones that actually decide who gets played or who doesn't. Because that is how it's been designed from the apartheid times.
Right.
So it's their territory.
Yeah.
It's like right now you get a guy like who's this kid? Nasty C.
Oh.
You know, he gets signed to what? What's this record company called?
First it was Mabala Noise.
No, forget Mabala Noise. This is international
Torex.
company.
Oh.
It's called
Jeff Dems.
Def Jam Africa. Why is it called why is it not Def Jam like Def Jam Africa?
Yeah.
Because Def Jam Africa will focus on developing talent in Africa and living it in Africa. It doesn't focus on growing the talent outside.
Because there is a Def Jam, better like
Yeah.
You know.
So it's strategy. It's structure that they've put in place to say, okay, fine, let's make money from the South African in Africa. Not outside. We can't make him a household name. You know, no matter how good it is. It's a structure. It's put in place. It's a structure that is put in place. You cannot have these Africans all of a sudden going on world tours. No matter how big of a hit you have in Africa, it's not on rotation anywhere else outside Africa. You know, only the Nigerians have been able to actually break that cycle and actually penetrate and go out and actually get played outside. But the majority of you can have the biggest song in South Africa right now. You're not an international brand. You just go there for cultural awareness. They just call you to say, hey, there's a cultural what exchange in Europe. Can you come and perform in 5 different states? That's it. But you're not a household name. You don't reach the Huma Singana stage, you know? Yeah, you don't. Only Black Coffee of this has been able to actually do that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of him because he's the guy that I've seen going to Germany. So with his other DJ, David Guitar, so now he's the guy I'm thinking that he has made a name out there.
Yeah, he's been able to make the name. But the idea is for everything to die here. Because if you look at the country right now, as where it stands, we are set up in a way that we are actually supposed to be a failed state.
Sheesh, I would agree with you, but the way things are looking at, and you know, I thought about, I'm like, we are a failed state. Because I look at our socioeconomic issues, I'm like, we can't be the country which has a strong currency, one of having high unemployment,
Yeah.
electrical problem,
Yeah.
which is power, of course,
Yeah.
water shortage.
Yeah.
What else? Highest HIV rate in the world. Yo, there's a lot. The highest crime rate especially in like urban
Highest
areas.
undocumented foreigners.
Oh, you see, it's a lot. So I'm like, these are big issues. I mean, and it's gonna be, I don't know how they implement or want to tackle them. Because, yeah.
You create a failed state when you want to enjoy the resources of the country without the people of the country benefiting. So, the way that our borders have been left open right now is for it to be in the next
10 years or so.
10, 20 years for people because people are procreating, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in the next few years, there won't be a history of the struggle. Do you understand? So that's what you are killing. You are killing the history of the struggle.
Yeah.
And once you kill the history of the struggle, because the people that are actually coming here from all of those countries, they are coming here, they are procreating, they have no history of the South African struggle.
Yeah.
So therefore, in the next few years, nobody holds the government accountable because the history is gone. The history of the struggle is gone. The people that are existing here are just existing.
Yeah.
So they cannot hold the government accountable on all the promises that were made before 1994. You can't hold them accountable because you are a new species now, so to say.
Yeah, get you.
Which has no attachment to apartheid. So everybody's just here and they just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So once you do that and you've killed this identity of the apartheid government, then you've got a place where you can actually govern that has no identity of the apartheid. And then you've succeeded. You've won because now you can keep the resources and nobody questions. Nobody's going to question. Now you can keep the resources. Nobody's going to question.
Interesting. Cool. Wow, that was definitely an interesting and very good, very fruitful interview, right, I say, with our wonderful Mr. Zwide here. It's a bit of technical errors we currently are facing as of now. But yeah, nonetheless, how would you like to close it off?
It was nice to be to engage with young people, you know?
Yeah.
The whole purpose of me taking this podcast actually and agreeing to come here is because I was going to talk to young people.
Definitely.
Which, as a life coach for young boys, that's what I do on a daily basis. So I came here to talk to young people, and it was nice that as we engaged, the majority of the things that I was talking about are things that actually didn't shock you. So you guys actually have an idea of what is going on in the world, and that is very, very, very smart of you guys to keep yourself informed. So thank you for having me, and then next time we'll do our next one.
Most definitely, man. Yeah, to those who did make it this far though, please do subscribe, and we're gonna definitely leave the link below for your book for those who are showing interest, because definitely I'm gonna get myself a book, man.
You should.
I should.
I'm a la 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 loner, la 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 loner. Every time I try to fit in, it ends up in misery, yeah. Socializing doesn't fit me, but I can get away so easy.